Good morning, students. Hope you are fit and fine. Today we will learn chapter number 10 of your NCERT book, Gravitation. Let us see what we will learn today. Gravitational force, universal law of gravitation, derivation of universal law of gravitation, and numerical based on universal law of cavitation. Now, you might have observed when you hold a ball and release it, it will fall or it will reach to the ground. Now the question arises, why does the ball reach the ground and fall down? The answer to this question we will find in this upcoming topic. Now let us start with the topic gravitation. Gravitational force. The force with which two objects attract each other is known as gravitational force. Now students, every object in this universe attract every other object, and they do so with the force, such as the earth attracts the moon, an apple falls to the earth, that is earth will attract an apple, and thus it falls to the ground. Earth will attract rain, which will fall to the ground. So they do so with a force, and this force is known as gravitational force. So we can define gravitational force as the force with which two objects attract each other. Now, force of gravity of earth. What is gravity? You might have used this word so often. So what is gravity? The force with which earth pulls the object towards it is known as gravity of earth or gravitational force of earth. So it is the force with which earth attracts the object. Centripetal force. You might have observed earth, like every other planet, revolves around the sun, and it do so in circular motion or circular paths known as orbit. Now how does a planet revolves around the sun? In circular paths continuously. How it is able to move in a circular path continuously? It is due to the centripetal force. Let us understand what is centripetal force. The force with which acts towards the center and keeps the body moving around a circle is known as centripetal force. So it is the force with which an object is moving around the sun in circular path, in circular motion, and this centripetal force acts towards the center of the earth. The examples are motion of satellites around the sun and motion of planets around the sun. Universal law of gravitation. What is universal law of gravitation? So there is a law which is related to gravitation and which is applicable to the whole universe. And this law of gravitation, which is applicable to the whole universe, is known as universal law of gravitation. Let us study what is universal law of gravitation. The universal law of gravitation states that every object in this universe attracts every other object with a force. This force is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distances between them. So, we know that every object attracts each other with a force called gravitation force, and this gravitational force is directly proportional to the product of masses and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. This is universal law of gravitation. That is, if we have two objects as mass m1 and m2, if we find the product of their masses as m1 into m2 and the distance between this object is r, suppose this distance is r, so universal law of gravitation has the formula which is related to the product of masses and the distance between the two masses as F equals to capital G small m1 small m2 divided by r square. Now let us derive the universal law of cavitation. Let two bodies A and B of mass m1 and m2 are lying at a distance r from each other. Then the force of attraction between them is F. So if we consider two objects such as say Earth and say Moon, they have masses m1 and m2. That is m1 and m2. So they are lying at a distance r. So their distance of separation is r. So according to the law of gravitation, universal law of gravitation, F is directly proportional to the product of masses. That is, F is directly proportional means this is the directly proportion symbol, and it is directly proportional to the product of masses. That is, it will directly depend on the product of the masses of two objects. Let us take it as first equation. Next, F is inversely proportional to the square of distance. Square of distance between them, it means if we have the distance between them as r, then force will be inversely proportional to the square of distance. If we square the distance, it is inversely proportional to the force. That is 1 by r square. Let us take it to equation number 2. Now from 1 and 2, you can see if both the sides have f, both left sides have f. So left side's f is directly proportional to the m1 m2 divided by r square. Now for removing this directly proportional sign, we have to put a constant, and we will put here G, capital G as a constant. The directly proportional sign will be removed and equals to will be put. F equals to G m1 m2 divided by r square. So this is the formula of universal law of gravitation, or the formula of gravitational force. And G here is known as universal law of gravitation, which has a value 6.67 into 10 raised to the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. This value remains constant towards the universe. Now let us quickly perform a numerical here. Find the gravitational force between the Jupiter and its natural satellite Callisto. The mass of Jupiter is 1.99 into 10 raised to the power 27 kg, and the mass of Callisto is 1.08 into 10 raised to the power 23 kg. The distance between Jupiter and Callisto is 1.88 into 10 raised to the power 9 meter. Now here we have been given Jupiter as a planet and its mass, let us take as mj, and we have been given its natural satellite or the moon of the Jupiter, Callisto. Say the mass of Callisto is mc. The distance between the Jupiter and Callisto, let us take as d, small d. Now we know that force of gravitation according to the universal law of gravitation is F G m1 m2 divided by r square. Here m1 is the mass of Jupiter and m2 is the mass of Callisto, and r we have taken as d here. Both are same. So after putting the values in the formula, we get as 4.39 into 10 raised to the power 44 Newton after calculations. So this way we are able to find the force of gravitation between the Jupiter and its satellite Callisto. Hope you have understood. Now for your home assignment, you have to solve the given example and in-text questions on page number 134 of your NCERT book in your notebook, and solve the questions related to this topic of your worksheets in your worksheets. Now also, for the better understanding of the chapter, you can read page number 130 to 134 of your NCERT book. Next day we will learn about the free fall and equations of motion of freely falling body. Till then, take care and thank you.